Hi, it's Brian Best. I know now, I didn't know then, that my week 4 video did not have any volume. My sound card is fixed, so we're going to try to do it again. It was week 4 instructive speech. So I'm going to talk about the 5 different types of PTSD. PTSD is a mental health problem that some people develop after experiencing or witnessing a life threatening event like combat, natural disasters, car accident, or sexual assault. A lot of people don't know there's 5 different types of PTSD. And PTSD doesn't have to just be related to military people, it can be related to anybody. Like I said, life threatening events can trigger PTSD. The first PTSD is normal stress response PTSD. This occurs when a person has been exposed to a single discrete traumatic event in adulthood experience, like bad memories, emotional distress, emotional numbness, feeling of unreality. This can be it can be triggered by certain events, like a lot of people who were in the shootings, such as the California Country Club shooting or the one that was in Orlando. A lot of those victims may suffer from normal stress response. That's just when you have the feeling that you can't believe something has happened. Um, After that, it's acute stress disorder. This is a panic reaction. This is when the physical instead of the mental takes over, where you might have um, shaking, you have shortness of breath, you have different things that are triggered through the thought or the event that's going on. Um, this is managed by pretty much self care, working out, yoga, different exercises can help with this stress disorder. But in this case, it's more of a feeling instead of a thought. A lot of people who suffer losses through hurricane or natural disasters experience the acute stress disorder. This is more of what you can expect in a car accident. Even though a car accident could be associated with normal stress disorder, it's more of an acute because you may be riding in an 18 wheeler or some type of car, gets close to you and you tense up. So it's more of a physical than a mental, such as normal. With that one, you can also associate the next one, which is uncomplicated PTSD. Well, with the uncomplicated PTSD, it's more of avoidance of certain things. Say, as a adult, you almost drown, so you may avoid going to beaches or large bodies of water. Or if you had a bad experience on a roller coaster, you may avoid going to amusement parks. That's uncomplicated PTSD because it has something to do with an event that you're avoiding after that. Going to amusement parks may cause some type of arousal of fear or anxiety, so you tend to stay away from things that trigger that. Next one is comorbid PTSD. This is more associated with alcohol abuse, drug abuse, different types of substance abuse. This is the one that gives you the reaction of pretty much a mental or psychiatric issue when it comes to being around your triggers. This is more of a, I would say, a child who has experienced back in the 80s, they had a thing called crack babies. This would be more associated with them because they are having the jitters or the anxieties when they get the need or the want for something, such as the drug that they're used to while in their mother's womb. Also, people who have heroin addictions normally have the jitters, and a lot of people call it the come down effect or weaning off when they're in rehab. No, it's actually an anxiety that they're having due to the fact that they're missing the substance that causes them to feel less stressful. So it's also a form of PTSD, which brings us to the last one, which is complex PTSD, or disorder of extreme anxiety, or disorder of extreme stress. This one is normally stemming from childhood situations such as sexual abuse, parental neglect, kidnapping, things like that that happened when you were a child or adolescent and has been suppressed, and then you have certain things that trigger it and you don't really know why. So it can cause you to act out in certain ways, such as sexual aggression, uh, acting out sexual events that you may have suppressed, eating disorder, alcohol, drug abuse. Is something that you do to numb what has happened. Um, there's a lot of things that can cause PTSD, and there's a lot of triggers or a lot of different, coping mechanisms people use. But everybody should know PTSD doesn't mean you're weak. It just means that you have an issue that a lot of Americans or a lot of people in the world have with you. Never feel like you're alone if you have PTSD. There's many different sources you can go look and find different things. I had on my paper different links and everything that you need to know or more information on PTSD. So never think just because you're not a military member or a law enforcement agent or a firefighter that you cannot succumb to PTSD. There's a lot of people out there who have succumbed to it. Thank you, and I apologize again about the lack of sound in my previous video. I apologize about the video being late. I had to wait for my computer to get fixed. So thank you again for giving me another chance.